let's get on to the biggest news story that's developing. I thought I would wait for it. Today I woke up and I saw Mohammed Hijab, the broomhead. the broomhead. He was apologizing and he was talking about his back, and I'll go through it. So I thought, what's going on? So I didn't understand the full context, but I just thought, he's here sitting duck, so I'll just go for it. So I started trolling him a little bit. I'm sure he's seen the tweets, but he wouldn't respond. But anyway, so I woke up, and by the way, before we go further, so just so you understand the context, last week I spoke about, it had absolutely nothing to do with it, but coincidentally, it falls in the same context. So I spoke about this hadith, which is a very famous Sunan Ibn Majah hadith, in which Aisha said, again, there's a person here is Aisha. I'm beginning to believe Aisha was cheekier than I thought, and she was having revenge on Muhammad and Islam for some reason. And I'll tell you why. So this is the famous hadith that I spoke about last week, that there was a verse of stoning adulterers and of breastfeeding an adult 10 times was revealed. Breastfeeding an adult 10 times was revealed, and the paper was with me under my pillow. When the messenger of Allah died, we were preoccupied with his death, and a tame sheep came in and ate it. So basically, the final message of the creator of billions of galaxies, this all-powerful being. Just imagine. I mean, we can't even lift a 200 kilo rock, and how heavy the earth is. Apparently there is a weight, and the whole, now imagine the whole universe so big. So the creator of that would be so genius, smart. His final message was eaten by a sheep, by a tame sheep. Yeah, seems legit, right? Okay, so the Aisha is saying that, but here we're not going to talk about the stoning verse, but actually the breastfeeding verse. So there is a verse, and there are quite a few riwayah, the hadiths, that actually say that, and it's quite a common practice in Pakistan, but with babies, not with grown-up men. So there is a tradition that if you know a guy who's become an adult, and if you want to make him, if you live around him, you can't really avoid him. He tends to walk in on you, or he's around you. So if you want to make him haram for you, meaning your mahram are those people you can't marry. They're like your brother, your uncle, your son, father, etc. So those ones, people who you can't marry, not cousins. Cousins are now mahram, because in Islam you can marry your cousin. So anyway, so to make them your mahram, let's say he's your adopted son or something, or your servant or something. So in order for him to make your mahram or make him haram on you, you have to suckle him. So in other words, he has to be breastfed, not metaphorically, literally breastfed. Okay, so there's a disagreement. Some scholars say no, you have to lactate yourself, put your milk in a cup, and then give that cup to the subject. But again, it doesn't make sense. So it says here breastfeeding an adult 10 times. Now it was later changed to 5 times, because 10 times, come on, man. Whoever's gonna, hey, can I please be breastfed again? So, weird. It's a weird cultish thing. But anyway, Muhammad and his logics. Okay. So that is the thing, right? Apparently, some alim gave a fatwa in Arabic that is perfectly fine. A grown-up man can literally be breastfed in order for him to be made your mahram or haram on you. Muhammad Hijab obviously didn't like it. So what he did, he was having an argument with this guy, whoever the scholar or mufti is, and look what he said. He said, okay, can I suck your wife's titties to make her mahram? So he goes full berserk. Kudos for him to being blunt and straightforward. So some other Muslim brother goes, what kind of mannerisms are these? Shame on you, Muhammad. So he goes, why is it wrong? He believes it's halal. So Hijab basically, in his typical grotesque, confronting, bullying manner, he goes on to attack this mufti or scholar, whoever gave this fatwa, that it's okay. It's okay if Bashir wants to be made mahram of that woman, all he has to do is go and be breastfed. Just drink milk. It's very common practice in Pakistan. Actually, it's called doodh palai ma, meaning my milk mother, basically. So in villages and some other communities, what happens is like if a mother can't produce enough milk, then her sister or someone else in the family would breastfeed the baby. So it's a baby, okay? So it's a 3, 4, 5, 6-month-old baby. Baby doesn't know whose milk is, whose teats he's sucking on. so anyway, but that happens in Pakistan quite a lot. But again, as I said, it's for babies, but not for grown-ups. So even when I first time heard about this, I was like, whoa. So where is it coming from? Have a look. There's actually a hadith. There's a hadith for everything. Again, it's from Aisha. Okay, so let's say what Aisha says. So Aisha is telling a story about this woman, Salama. She's saying, who, they're having an argument. Salama said that, this guy, Salim, who comes in my house, and, I don't like it. He's a grown-up man. I don't like him. So she said, so Prophet and Messenger said, suckle him. She goes, how can I suckle him? He's a grown-up man. And the Prophet Muhammad, the Prophet of Allah, smiled and said, I already know he's a young man. Wink, wink. so Prophet smiled. And this is Sahih Muslim and Bukhari. So this is a Sahih Hadith. This is not like in Tabri or, some distant one where a lot of Muslims don't agree on its validity. This is a Sahih Hadith. And Prophet Muhammad didn't say, no. What I mean by is, lactate yourself, put the milk in a cup or something, and then give the milk to this guy. And no, he said, I know he's a grown-up man. Suckle him. So this is what it is. There's another hadith as well. So this one is a bit more in detail. So how the story goes: a young boy who is at the threshold of puberty comes to you. I, however, do not like that he should come to me. Now, this is a woman Salama is saying. So Aisha, the child bride, she says, do you not see in Allah's messenger a model for you? So she guilt trips him. Guilt trips her. She goes, do you accept Muhammad as the greatest man? She goes, of course. She's going to say yes. She said, of course. So then Aisha said that Muhammad said, suckle him so that he may become your foster child and that he may be able to come to you freely. So that is a solution. You don't want this other dude to come into your house all the time, and you don't want to do parda, you don't want to put a veil on. Easy. Lift your shirt, say, suckle him. So, I get embarrassed. I get embarrassed for them. What a weird cult this is. So anyway, so that was the context. And Hijab goes, okay, can I suck your wife's teeth to make her around? But anyway, he deleted that after he was shamed. And he tried to blame it on some medication. Look at this tweet. He goes, recently I had a serious back injury and have been on a mix of extremely potent medications. And he's on tramadol or something. But apparently I quickly Googled it, and apparently it's not really that hard. It's not that strong medicine. But anyway, so he said, this mixed with my wild nature where he has desire to suck on other men's wife's titties. This mixed with my wild nature has produced some very unusual private and public communications, and this is one of them. Apologies once again. So he goes again, and then after that he was still shamed. After that he was like, man, don't blame that on medication, don't, just take responsibility. So a few minutes later he goes, wanna also apologize to Omar Chatila for the grotesque and inappropriate examples, meaning him asking to suck his wife's titties. No excuses. Look at this Muslim brother. He goes, don't back down, man. You spoke the truth. Yes, you spoke the truth. And then he goes, yeah, they know it's a mad fatwa. Okay, I know. I apologize for the grotesque language, but this is how embarrassing the religion is. I mean, if someone is your foster, like your adopted son or something, that's it. Leave it at that. Why? And now you have made this grown-up pre-puberty, post-puberty guy, young 16, 17-year-old boy, you have made him suck on titties of a grown-up woman who lives in the house. Now, how this is Muhammad's logic that once he's done it, now he's not gonna want it. May as well bang him, and then say he's already banged her. Now he's not gonna want to bang her. What kind of logic is this? But that is this weird cultish behavior or these teachings that we get from Islam. What really gets me is that when this woman, she's actually feeling embarrassed. She's like, she's a grown-up man. Come on, I can't make him hear. Prophet Muhammad smiled and said, I already know that he's a young man. All Prophet Muhammad had to do is like go wink at the end. So it's quite funny. But to be fair, the argument, the disagreement in the community is that they don't say that yes, it's still a weird practice anyway. But the disagreement is no, you have to put it in a cup and then give it. But it doesn't make sense. Apparently, the Arabic word that's been used, it literally translates as suckle him. So suckling means that you don't, if you want to give someone milk or tea or whatever in a cup, you wouldn't use the word suckle him. So that's how embarrassing this whole thing is. To help me produce more videos like these, support me on Patreon or PayPal.